big, big load.
Hello one and all, we've got a great video planned for you, but before we begin, I try and avoid too much self-promotion. It's a little bit gauche, but this one is a matter of urgency. I want to warn you that if you've ever had any interest in making a purchase from thejimpourium.com, where we sell our merch, including the incredibly popular The Gays Can Do Whatever They Want shirt and the something something capitalism bad shirt, well, just make an order quickly, because I've just heard that Embracer Group plans to buy our entire remaining stock. No, I've just heard they plan to buy our entire remaining shop. Sorry, hold on, I'm just hearing it in the air a lot. Okay, no, breaking news, they plan to buy the entire show, the Jimquisition, the YouTube channel, everything. Except obviously me. Oh shit. But from light-hearted digs at terrifying corporate conglomeration to this, laughing at a bit of a fascist. Enjoy! You have to be a real grade A piece of shit to get Steam's impressively lax moderation system to step in and do something about you. Steam, a service that has for years acted as a wide-open sluice gate for the most low-effort, offensive, and/or incomplete games imaginable, long ago gave up the idea of having any sense of quality control, and its community forums are pretty damn permissive when it comes to allowing nastiness and aggression. Hey, whatever floats your boat. While each game community can moderate itself to its own standards, Steam rarely likes to step in, predominantly because it relies on communities moderating themselves to their own standards, so Steam can further invest time into its primary business of doing as little as possible and making obscene amounts of money doing it. It's hard to get Steam to step in and stop you, is what I'm saying, and for one particular developer, they managed to go one step further. Amazingly, some might say hilariously, getting banned from his own community after a long period of truly unhinged and aggressive behaviour. Dubbed Steam's least likable developer, the creator of indie gladiator game Domina has low-key made a disreputable name for himself with a history of bigoted screeds, bizarre manosphere philosophies, and a pervasive desire to angrily clap back at negative reviews of his game. Adolphin Incorporated combines the self-awareness of digital homicide with the charm and social grace of cholera, and as a result of repeated violations of Steam's community guidelines, has found himself, at least temporarily, unable to post on his own game's forum. Steam's ban notice, posted by Adolphin in a display of outrage masquerading as pride, notes, "This is the second time that one of your posts violates our discussion rules and guidelines, specifically insulting or flaming another user. We're also noticing a trend with abusive messages sent when banning players from your hub. When posting any content in the community or communicating with your players, please make sure it adheres to the guidelines." DB first came to the public's attention when his patch notes for Domina began slipping in weird political statements, something which curiously didn't upset the usual keep politics out of my games crowd, but raised some red fucking flags with everyone else who wondered why patch notes would list random anti-mask rants in between bug fixes and gameplay optimizations. Sorry, I know what's coming. "Take off the fucking masks," rambles the most notorious of these notes. "Next time you're at the grocery store, try showing a woman your face. Be confident, unafraid of the lies. You might get a girlfriend. Women like confidence. Women don't like dudes who cover their faces in fear. What are you afraid of? Getting laid? Grow up!" As funny as it is to be told to grow up by an anti-masker parroting infantile pickup artist bullshit, it's nonetheless a puzzling thing to see. Domino enjoyed a fair deal of positivity on its release in 2017, earning quite a few glowing reviews, but love for the game has soured increasingly, not just for using the game to push reckless and dangerous anti-mask rhetoric, but for a number of toxic rants and outraged attacks on anybody critical of his game. Another notorious patch note for Domina reads, "Some men still won't fight. They're weak.
There's no accounting for weak men. Weak men lack character. Strong moral fibre is hard to come by. It's earned through hard work and sacrifice, and it cannot be had via OnlyFans or Pornhub. No, those fucking things are demonic possessions, waiting to show you a succubus titty in the hopes you'll waste a load on her instead of spending that energy studying how to weld, or grow a potato, or learning a new language, or how to program a computer. Listen, kids, get off them porn tubes and do something with your life, because no one is going to give you a goddamn thing, and this whole mess we call civilization is only getting harder. We need solutions, and we need smart men who can work hard and implement those solutions. Masturbating to e-girls isn't going to solve the energy crisis, is it? Get to work! I don't know about that. If we harness the kinetic energy of hundreds of dudes cranking it to Instagram, we'd cut down on fuel emissions in a heartbeat. Can't say the same for some of the other emissions we'd have to deal with. Come, I'm talking about cum. This manifesto was added as a wild fucking non sequitur in an otherwise tiny update briefly listing 4 minor gameplay changes. The completely unbidden life advice ironically ends with the message, "Don't let strangers on the internet tell you how to live your life. If you want to be told how to live your life, read the New Testament. The internet will only give you lies." Now, if Dolphin Ben had stuck to regurgitating the alpha male nonsense of supplement salesmen and dick pill peddlers, that'd be one thing. But it will come as no surprise to you that he's also a massive fucking bigot who especially hates trans people because why not? It's the fashionable fucking thing to do after all. Content warning for this bit, obviously. Bestiarius also adds a heal option, even if you don't have Medicus or Medicus Emeritus, or if you're a man who has inverted his penis into a vagina. The Bestiarius will automatically train animals after healing, but it won't make you a woman. Well, if Domina's developer is good for one thing, it's reminding us all exactly how tired, dull, repetitive, and flimsy transphobic rhetoric is. Like, seriously, they have one joke and maybe 3 arguments that they repeat on a loop like a doll with a pull-string voice box. I mean, you want to rant and rave about weak men. There's nothing quite so fucking feeble as a transphobe who thinks he's saying something we haven't heard 1,000 fucking times that week. Spineless, pathetic, less of a contribution to society than jizzing all over your phone screen while scrolling hurriedly through OnlyFans. And for good measure, Adolphin is not above adding some QAnon-flavoured conspiracy theories about the death of John McAfee into his patch notes too. His social media is similarly full of senseless, sometimes barely understandable rhetoric littered with vague threats, religious sentiment, aversion to pornography, and attempts to start fights with pretty much anybody who doesn't fall in line with his testosterone-addled, conspiratorial, and often hilarious worldview. Whether or not this is some weird performance art, an undignified attempt to drum up controversial publicity for the game, or if he really is a true believer, the result is pretty much the same. He's a fucking car crash of a human being, and as vile as the shit he hits out with is, I can't help but be fascinated by the developer of a game using patch notes of all things for a long-term Alex Jones-flavoured meltdown. While banned for the moment, Adolphin can continue to post patch notes, the chosen vector for his fascistic gobbledygook. In the latest, he naturally takes aim at Steam itself, raving with, "Exactly 0 human beings have the balls to put their name to the ban. Cowards! Clowns! What a stupid company to work at. It must be so sad collecting so much money from people who actually create something and then banning their opinions. I wonder how many stomach ulcers are at Steam Valve, how much Prilosec is prescribed to them. 0 cocks among them, that's obvious. What a pity." Why are you constantly thinking about cocks, dude? Like all good Steam charlatans, DB likes to claim negative reviews of his game are fraudulent and has been about as combative with his community as a developer can be. Said community seems to have had a lot of fun with the developer devolving into mental mayhem, as even the recent positive reviews are either sarcastic or praise the entertainment value of the dev's behaviour over any qualities the game itself might have. That said, I think my favourite review has to be the rather succinct and almost poetic, "I love this little indie game, but there's just something off with the patch notes and the community that surrounds it." Yeah? Just a little bit off, you think? When dealing with a cock-obsessed man-baby like Dolphin Ben, it's hard to know exactly how seriously one should take him. On the one hand, there is no doubt he is a hateful person spewing hurtful rhetoric. His social media presence and patch notes demonstrate an especial hatred of trans women, while his anti-masking and conspiracy theorizing echo truly dangerous sentiments that have led to genuine real-world harm. But also, and I may run the risk of trivialising the sincerely terrifying political climate we're all in, this guy's utterly silly bullshit makes me laugh, and honestly, I think he deserves to be laughed at, to have his theocratic ridiculousness ridiculed because it's ridiculously ridiculous. It all is, really. The bigotry of their belief system is sickening, creepy, and quite violent, but it's worth remembering that these people are ultimately fucking pathetic. When you look at what they're saying, when you just repeat it out loud, you can clearly hear how little sense it makes, how just like with Domina's patch notes, alt-right beliefs are just randomly poorly thought out non sequiturs, jammed into places they don't belong, repeating long discredited alpha male mythology, odd conspiracy theories, and readings from a transphobic script so lacking in variety and depth it could be written on a fucking raffle ticket. Domina's developer is a sick, strange, sad little boy, a perfect encapsulation of the people he's incoherently representing.
Now, I don't mean to imply anything about Dolphin Ben, but he is a bit obsessed with genitals, like predominantly obsessed with genitals. Whether it's the solemn clacking away of lonely penises, or the inverted ones that he seems so preoccupied with, something tells me that maybe, rather than going online and filling patch notes with ridiculous screeds, he might want to work on that preoccupation with genitalia, something that is shared fondly, obsessively, creepily by many of his turfy friends. But I don't expect him to take my criticism to heart. After all, he has a habit of not taking well to criticism at all. He indeed likes to level personal attacks at his opponents, and being fat and trans, I am too, for the price of one when it comes to phobia, so I'm sure that if there ever is a response, it will be as spirited as it is fucking original. Speaking of originality, thank God for me. Something capitalism bad. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if anyone's an expert on shoehorning politics into their work, it's me.